and welcome to this week's episode of A Stark Realization. We've got an important topic that we're going to be addressing today, which is that of having a sound mind, a sound body leads to sound teaching practices. And since this is not my area of expertise, mind you, I'm bringing in somebody who is an expert. Let's welcome Nick to our show. He is from TeacherFit, and some of you I know out there, because some of our listeners have commented that they are aware and they know of the program. We're going to make sure that we get a little bit more information about what TeacherFit is, how it started, and what it offers, and how it can help you in your education practices. So let's go ahead and turn it over to our guest at this moment. So Nick, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
Bradley, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on the show and kind of share our message of educator wellness with your community.
So tell us a little bit, how did it start? Let's go back to the origins. Where did this begin, and how did it turn into what it is today?
So I got out of the Marine Corps and transitioned into the fitness space. And ever since I got into the health and fitness space, I had a passion to work with students. So through lots of legwork and visiting schools, I finally had the opportunity to start an after-school program at a local middle school. And through working with both the staff and the students at that middle school, I quickly realized if I wanted to scale and have the impact on the young people that I wanted to have, the best way for me to do that was to impact the teachers that they were spending most of their day with. Because what I saw was the kids, the educators that the kids would talk about and that would come out and work out with them and really make that impact on a daily and weekly, monthly, yearly basis were the ones that were taking care of themselves in their own personal life through health, fitness, wellness, mindfulness, nutrition, all those things. And I knew that if we could help educators take care of themselves, they would in turn set that example and take care of students. So through that realization, I quickly transitioned my focus from just working with students to working with educators. And I started out with just visiting schools in my local district, and we had after school programs for teachers. And I quickly realized that was not the way to make the biggest impact. And we started leaning on technology through an app and video-based workouts, video-based yoga classes to create now what is TeacherFit. And it's an online and app-based program that teachers across the United States, in Canada, in Europe, and now in Australia use on a daily basis to, practice wellness and take care of themselves. And, what we found through talking to principals and educational leadership and superintendents is that they have a wellness committee, they have a wellness director in the district or at the school level, but there was really no proactive action-based program taking place. It was, here's a PDF, you need to eat healthy, or hey, here's our health insurance website, go and check that out. They've got some wellness tools on there. And when you dig deep, there's really not much. It's all reactive, as opposed to, hey, I'm a teacher, I want to take care of myself today, I want to start working out, what can I do? Yeah. And that's kind of the place, the void we're trying to fill, that if a teacher wants to start eating healthy, they can lean on us and start today. If they want to start doing yoga, they can start today, and really taking care of themselves, again, to be that impact on students through setting the example of wellness.
That's fantastic. And how have you found that this has been, obviously we're seeing how well it's being received. What's been that big impact that just gets districts to say, yeah, we need to buy into this because it does help our teachers? How do you get them to see that vision?
Yeah, I think it's, a societal problem we see of physical wellness, mental wellness, and that obviously is impacting educators as well. And, districts and principals and district leadership are starting to realize that something's got to be done. We can no longer just throw a PDF at our educators and hope they're going to take care of themselves. When we talk to them about it's really a student-based program. There's a lot of conversation about how can we take care of our students? How can we get better results? This and that. But the real way to do that is by taking care of educators. If we look at these big Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies, they all have these robust wellness systems with amazing gyms and trainers and healthy food in the cafeteria. But when you look at education, none of that exists. It's, hey, come to work your tail off, don't get a lunch break, make sure you're doing the after school program, and then go home and come back tomorrow. And our teachers are stressed, they're burned out, They're leaving education, and we have to start taking care of them if we want to have the best of the best.
That's fantastic. I think we'll actually come back to some of that you mentioned. Here are a couple of the questions that we've got for you. But first, let's jump in. You kind of addressed like 4 key areas that I want to key in on. And those are, one, you mentioned yoga, you mentioned the healthy eating, the wellness, the mental wellness aspect. And then also, you also do a lot within the high intensity interval training as well.
Yep.
So kind of those 4 areas, let's talk about what it is that those offer. So someone listening that doesn't really know much about this, they're a teacher who may not be physically active, but is looking to make those changes. How do those 4 specific areas that you offer, how are those going to help them?
So we want to impact the whole educator. You know, there are educators who run marathons, there are educators that maybe eat healthy or just do yoga or are mentally well. But what we want to do is provide a program that throughout a week, a month, a year, a teacher can be mentally well, physically well, they can eat healthy, and, you know, they can practice deep health across the spectrum. So our program, each week we put out videos and audio versions of all of these programs. So for instance, 3 days a week, we put out a guided meditation or mindfulness kind of professional development based on education. We partner with Allison Carmichael. She's a principal out of Arizona, and she's been doing mindfulness with her staff and students for years. And now she's developed her consulting company that goes out and talks to districts about this. So we brought her on board to make those products for us. She's in the space. She knows how students react and staff reacts. So we put that out 3 times a week. In addition to that, we also provide a guided meditation for students once a week. So we have our student programs that a teacher can practice in the morning, maybe when they wake up, and then they can take that to their classroom with a more student-focused program and have that connecting point. So our student-based program is once a week, we put out a guided mindfulness and meditation for students. So if a teacher is practicing on their own, they also have that connecting point with their students. The second piece is the fitness program, and we put out 5 guided workouts each week that teachers can do on their own in the morning. They can do them at school, after school with their coworkers, what we really love to see, or they can do it in the evening with a spouse. You know, however they want to do it, at the gym, at home, minimal equipment, minimal thought process that needs to go into it from them. They can just follow the video, work out with myself or one of my coaches, and get a lot of benefit out of that program. The third program is the yoga program. We know like high intensity intervals aren't for everyone, and there are so many benefits physically, mentally, emotionally of yoga. So we put out 2 brand new yoga classes each week. Just like the fitness program, they're 30 minutes or less. So a teacher doesn't need an hour out of their busy schedule. It's just 30 minutes to take for themselves to knock out a yoga class or a workout and continue to move on throughout their day. And the last piece is our nutrition program. Obviously, as a culture and society, we struggle with making healthy nutrition choices across the board. So we're actually wrapping up our New Year course right now. I do a 6-week course on brilliance at the basics of nutrition, everything from building self-awareness to talking about caloric intake and hydration to kind of the macronutrients. How can I set up my day of eating that's going to set me up for success if I'm inactive? Or maybe I'm a runner and I go to the gym, whatever it may be. We just kind of build the basics so that we know what a plate should look like throughout the day. For so long, there's been so much information about this fad diet or that fad diet, or eat these fats, don't eat these fats, no carb, low carb, high carb. So we just try to kind of clear through that and give a basic understanding so a teacher can sit on a Sunday and say, hey, this is what I'm doing this week. Here are the foods that need to make up my diet to kind of make me feel good, give me energy for the classroom, and facilitate kind of my energy levels for my goals. So through all those programs, and I know it's a lot, movement, mindfulness, nutrition, we try to impact the whole educator so they can be their best for their students.
That's fantastic. That's incredible. I didn't really quite get the whole grasp of just how large that this is. This is fantastic. So definitely, I think, more educators need to understand this. So let's walk through a day, a teacher like me. I know a lot of our listeners, because I'm a theater director, I've got a lot of theater directors that are also listening in. And we start our day, we're at school before the sun comes up. We then teach the whole day. We got maybe 10, 15 minutes for a lunch break because you're still working most of the time on your lunches. And then we go right into rehearsals after school, and then we go home after the sun's gone down. So that's one issue right there. time frame is a problem. And then also making healthy choices is definitely a problem, because it's just easy to grab some of those choices that aren't as good for you. And then also is then that the other issue that we wanted to address is, I know that getting teachers going, getting that energy level that you mentioned, so high levels of caffeine often are a supplement to get that energy. So how do we combat that? How do we deal with the time issue? How do we deal with, what are some of those choices that you would recommend? Food choices that are going to be better for energy than just grabbing a cup of coffee or or an energy drink, or even just a caffeinated soda. What are your recommendations? How do we fix all this to give teachers like myself that are just booked so heavily, but can still find time to make those good choices and make a difference in my health?
Yeah. So the first thing I want to address is time. And obviously teachers are worked to the T, and schedule is a big problem. So I would just say to start your day on your terms. A lot of people, teachers as well, they get up and they're immediately like rushed to get out the door, take care of kids, get out the door, get to school. And the whole day is kind of one rushing sequence after another all the way through the end of the day. So what I would challenge an educator to do would be just wake up 15 minutes early. 15 minutes early, 5 of those minutes, maybe do a mindfulness practice, just breathing, or maybe a 10-minute journaling practice, something to start your day on your terms with some sort of wellness, whether that's mental wellness, maybe just 5 minutes of stretching, a walk outside, a walk on a treadmill if you have that, just something to start your day on your terms with your self-care at the forefront of your day. Because teachers naturally, they've chosen this profession because they're giving, they're caretakers, they want to serve their students, they want to serve their family and all those people that are around them. And that if we don't take care of ourselves, obviously we can't be the best for those individuals. So starting the day 15 minutes early to do something for yourself. Now, obviously understanding your priorities, and your career takes priority, but when you get home at night, a lot of people turn to those, kind of just turn the mind off. What can I do? Netflix, or, watching the TV with your spouse, whatever it may be. And if maybe we can take, again, 30 minutes out of that, a couple nights a week, it doesn't have to be every night, 2 nights, 3 nights, and do something again for yourself. Maybe that's a 30-minute workout, a 30-minute yoga class with your spouse, to just start that process of reorganizing your priorities to take care of yourself. And what I think we'll soon realize, if you start to do those things each week, each day, each month, they're going to add up, and it's going to become easier and easier and easier to make those choices moving forward. And then the second question with nutrition and how do we make those healthy choices, the number one thing I encourage anyone to do is just to start eating more real foods. We got to stay away from the processed junk. The easy choice is to go to that machine or go to the food that some parent brought in that looks so good in the teacher's lounge, or grab that soda, or the energy drink. But if we can just fill our diet with whole foods that are naturally grown, that will go bad if they sit in the teacher's lounge for too long, we're going to start to feel better. Because although it's easy to grab that Coke and it's easy to grab that sugary sweet treat just because we're on the go, it's not going to give you more energy. You're going to spike, and then 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, you're going to crash. And that's when you're going to go back, and you're going to, that cycle is just a, self-deprecating cycle that's just going to make it harder and harder and harder to get back to where we want. And when it's going to be hard to give up, because sugar is an addictive drug. But once you start to fill your diet with those real unprocessed foods, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be able to do more things in your day, and everything just gets easier.
That's fantastic. Now, I know, again, for our listeners, this is not simply where I'm asking questions just to get a response. I'm asking questions so I can legitimately make a change. And so I'm going to be putting this to heart. I'm going to be making this. We're going to do it. My wife and I are going to be working out together. We're going to be doing some things, making some changes, and we're going to report back in a couple of months. We'll check in and make sure that, and we're going to report on how effective that this really can be. But it's like you said, you have to make those decisions. It's not going to happen for you. It's got to be a very consistent practice. It's got to be mindful practice, and it's got to be for that intent and purpose that we can't serve. We can't do those things that we want to do, and why educators got into this, for the first place, if we're not in a position ourselves where we can even offer that service. We have to be physically able to, we have to be mentally able to help our kids.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, it starts with a decision, a mindset. And if we're not in the right mindset, it's never going to stick, right? A lot of people start January 1st with, oh, I'm going to change this. And they really didn't do the deep work that's necessary to why they want to make a change. It's, oh, I want to look better. Oh, I want to do this. But when you find out your why, and for a lot of educators, it's, I want more energy in the classroom. I want to be better for my family. I want to be better for my students. And when you get to that deep why, when it comes to those hard decisions, that late night workout, that waking up early, that saying no to the sweets that your principal brought in, and sticking to your real foods that you took time to prepare, those hard choices, you have to get back to your why. I want to be healthy for my spouse. I have young children I want to be able to spend time with when I'm older. Those types of why statements and understanding are what's going to hold us to our goals and our values with regards to wellness.
Absolutely. So next, moving into the actual the workings of the program. So you said that it is available as a mobile app, and the listening that they put it on, they get to follow the guided practices. Now, I know most of the time we're probably thinking of, is this only on a district level, or can individuals participate and purchase it on their own basis, or is it just a larger school-wide or district-wide program?
So yeah, for the first part, it is an app or the website. They can use either. There's links to all the programs that come out during the week. And then we do have offerings all the way from the individual teacher level to the school level to the district level. And we have some of all. Our biggest piece of the program right now is individual schools, but we do have some larger districts coming in. We're actually working with quite a few districts right now, moving into the summer and the next school year. We're in that kind of budget planning period right now, but we do have programs for the individual educator all the way through the district and state.
Excellent. So now let's talk about how people get a hold of that. So give us the website information, social media, anything, the resources that they're going to need. That do you guys have even anything as far as social media groups that people can chat and keep up on their program? Anything like that that's going to help? How do people reach out, and how do they get started?
Yeah, so we're most active on Twitter, and we're TeacherFit19 on Twitter. We share a ton of content. We give out free workouts, all that kind of stuff. And you can shoot us a direct message on there. We're also on Instagram at TeacherFit_online. And you can also check out the website, TeacherFit.com. You can shoot us a message through the website, or you can just shoot us an email to info@TeacherFit.com, and we can send you links based on if you're a principal or you're just district superintendent, you're an individual teacher that just wants to try it out. Whatever level you're at, we can send you the correct direction to get you taken care of.
Awesome. And we'll put all those links in the descriptions below, so everybody check those out, and do follow them. Make sure that you're taking advantage of those opportunities. A lot of that content that's being shared on the social media platforms are invaluable, because you're getting it's that real-time information. You're getting it right then when they send it out, and you're able to put that right into practice immediately into your regimen. So it's well worth following. So definitely do that. And so as we're kind of going to be closing up here a little bit, tell us what are the next steps? Where do you see TeacherFit going? What are some of the other things you've got on the horizon? I know you mentioned adding more with the teacher wellness and some of those things. What else is in the pipeline for you guys?
So we're continuing to expand our program. We had about 50 schools in the first part of the school year, and we surveyed them and asked them what they would look for to get more out of the program. We had some people that wanted more cardio-based programs, so we're building, something a teacher can use if they're just going to go to the gym and hop on the treadmill or a bike or a rowing machine. So we're going to build some of that in. Some teachers wanted some strength programs, and there's so much information out there in the strength world that we're going to start building some of that in, so teachers across the nation and the world can kind of compete against each other and lift weights and do that kind of stuff.
That's great.
We're most excited about our mindfulness program. Again, we continue to expand that to include the student piece of it. And we've recently launched our class breaks program, which is the student mindfulness and a student movement break each week. So teachers can use those in the classroom, and it's, similar movements and workouts that they could be doing on our program, so they can have that connecting point that they can talk to the students about. And that we also have quite a few teachers now who are using our program as part of an after-school program. So we're going to start putting a little more investment into that. My background was an after-school program at the middle school level for health and fitness, so that's kind of where it all started and my passion. So we have a couple teachers that are already doing it, and we're going to start putting all of our body weight workouts in one place so they can access those, and giving some teaching notes that they can really focus on with the students. So moving into the second part of the year here, we really want to see our educators that want to do more with their students and really want to have that impact, that they can literally pull up the app, take a look at the workout, throw it up on the smart board for the students, or just take a look at it, review the notes, and lead their students in our workouts. Because we have so many teachers that have that initiative. They want to do something, but maybe they don't have the knowledge or experience in the fitness space. And if we can provide them that solution, and then they can impact students who may never have an opportunity to go to a gym or have a fitness coach or play sports. Those are the types of teachers and students that we want to impact and give that opportunity.
Awesome. I know I was actually introduced to the program itself, and that's why I reached out to you from a fellow educator, Jonathan Alsheimer.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
He's man, that guy's amazing.
And he's awesome. He was at the school. He was an educator at the school that I started the after school program at. So, he's been a part of the program now for almost 3 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
he kind of saw my after school program, and he would come out and work out with the students. And he was one of those teachers that I saw, like, he's taking care of himself, and the impact he has on that whole school is just powerful. And I know he takes his wellness very serious, and now he is using the program kind of carrying on through a fitness club, and he uses it as a mentorship tool for some of his students who they don't play sports, and that we're kind of in a bad part of town. It's a low income school that he works at, and he takes that and uses it as a mentorship school. Like, hey, let's go hit a workout, fellas, and teaches the fundamentals of hard work and discipline, and just going that extra mile to be their best. And I think that's a powerful thing that we want to lean into as an organization and as a community of educators, and see how far we can push that.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes to the work that he does. And I think other teachers are able to emulate that aspect, that when you're putting that extra time and that work for your students, and then you see how that transitions, those kids are willing to do anything for him in the classroom.
Absolutely.
And he's not asking them to do some easy learning. It's some pretty difficult stuff, but they're willing to do it because of those connections that are made. And I think that's a big part of it. Those relationships, they matter.
And that's what we talk about with our impact by example. And when I was building this program and thinking about what we want to stand for, he is a prime example of what we're trying to allow teachers to achieve. And he is that impact by example. When I look back at educators that impacted me, I don't remember specific lessons or, things they taught me from a textbook. I remember who they were as an individual. What kind of life were they living? How did they carry themselves? Those are the types of impacts that impacted me to allow me to become the person that I am today. And I want to help teachers be that for their students.
Well, we certainly appreciate that you are doing that you've created something that allows us not only physically, but also, as you said, that mental aspect is such a big part of it, because there is that teacher burnout. There is the demoralization that can happen in education, where if we allow ourselves to just be so engrossed sometimes with only one aspect of education, but we're not looking at those other things about wellness and well-being and taking care of ourselves so we can take care of our students. So definitely important aspects, and we're certainly glad that you're offering and making something of value that is going to make a difference in education. So if we don't take care of our teachers, they can't take care of the kids, and that's where our future lies.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love being a part of the education community. We hope we can continue to do more and more and reach more educators.
Wonderful. And hopefully we get some more educators, some more listeners out there to do just that. So thank you so much for being our guest today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm excited for the new things you've got, you said, that are coming up, and where that's going. And I know it's definitely going to make a difference. And we're going to probably have you as a guest again in a couple months, maybe in June. We'll get you back in, and I'm going to report on how things are going with my own
awesome
health challenges there. So we certainly appreciate you. And everybody out there listening, thank you so much for joining us on A Stark Realization. Stay tuned next week for a special Valentine's Day episode where I'm going to have rock star educator and third grade teacher Melissa Ann Skinner. Yes, my wife is going to be my guest next week. So stay tuned for that.